movement in the VR space. Yeah, that's pretty much the plan.
Oh, I seem to have killed my stream. Well, I've now got audio, but it seems that it killed my audio. So I'll just edit this and see if I can. Okay, and.
Did you did the 16th for everything? Yeah, for game technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, but report and
video. We'd like it to be the 16th.
we just start doing stuff.
Yeah, and you really need to rush things.
Yeah, because it's not right.
Yes, we need to push you guys into that final phases. So the advanced project work and things are slightly later.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Yeah, you don't have that one.
Yeah, almost done with that one.
Yeah. So, yep. So you've mostly been doing the advanced project work, but you need to get onto this one now.
Yes, I do need, because I do need to get the. Still need to just get the. The only thing I really need to do is minimize the terrain and get a little version of me on the terrain, and then have it movable.
Yes.
That's it.
Yep. And then we can start doing some testing on people.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'd like to do some testing and discussing the ideas of navigation. Now I gave Bjorn some stuff on navigation. So Oculus.
You gave the link.
Yeah. So Oculus released earlier this month 8 different experimental location systems.
Okay.
So it'd be quite useful for you to compare yourself to some of those.
Okay.
Right. So I gave Bjorn the link. So if Bjorn can share that with you.
I can.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So. Yeah.
Yeah. I just finished all the setup for doing the experience this week or last week. So I've got that done. I've had to fix the VR stuff because the VR interpretation doesn't work right out of the box because there's some issues with it being made for an older version of the engine, so some of the functions have changed name. But anyway, fixed that. Got my chair working. It doesn't, or the thing is the fitness board, I can't get it to work with joystick.
Okay.
It doesn't work with the plugin, and so yeah, I think I'll just do WASD mapping instead and just leave it at that.
Yep.
So that should be fine. The bachelor students are almost done with their
wheelchair.
But the current version I have is kind of not that great for doing the maze and all that stuff, because you can only go forward, and and if you get stuck into the wall and try to reverse, you can end up on your back, and then you can't get up again. There's also some stuff if you break, you always go that way, depending no matter which one you break in. But apparently they're fixing it today or maybe tomorrow.
Yep.
So I was hoping to either get experiments done tomorrow or on Tuesday. So I've set up a pretty standard questionnaire. We're just getting some stuff out of them, and but I was thinking most of it would probably go on the simulation sickness questionnaire.
Yep.
So the thing is, they have to do it before they start the test, and then after they do the first experiment, after they do the second, and after they do the third, and after So they have to do 4.
Yeah. So you're going to use Google Forms for your
for the
questionnaires?
Standard questions, but for the SSQ or simulation sickness questionnaire, I'll just print that out.
Okay.
And then just have them fill in.
Right.
Because that's probably faster.
Yeah, if there's not too many of them, it means that your encoding isn't going to take you very long, so that's okay.
I'm considering how many subjects I should bother with. It's probably going to take a while because we can only do one at a time because we only have one pad.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So it will take some time to go through subjects, but it's useful. It's a useful thing to do for your master's thesis because that's the same kind of, you'll have to get users and go through the master's thesis.
Yeah. So probably get the guys out there and run up here and see if we can find some other.
Yep. Okay. So.
And it's just writing the report.
Yes, writing the report. Yes, and making this video, which I think the audio was off, so I'm going to have to write this down anyway because the audio may have been off and the people on the channel won't have heard it anyway. So yeah. Okay.
Don't really have that much to discuss. I've started writing the introduction just to make sure that the template doesn't crash.
Enchilatic. Enchilatic. Yep.
Yeah. And I found some more articles online, but they seem fine.
Yep. So you reading and writing and making progress.
Yeah, and they're all from varying countries as well, so I can try to compare between each country, and it seems to be quite consistent. That most of them don't find any improvements in grades, as we discussed a few weeks ago. But all of them increase interest in the subject. From the one that was a literary study on its own in the US, and they checked games for education for engineering classes. And some of the engineering classes over there has 80% dropout or higher. So really bad. But then I started using games for education in some of them, and its dropout percentage went down to 60%.
Okay.
Or lower.
Right. So they're getting some improvements.
Yeah. So the grades are still the same, but the attendance is a lot higher because of.
So more people are completing and more people are attending. It's just the average grades don't go up because those people were mixed grades anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, that's. I mean, one of the challenges of introducing games and using game technologies in general is that it might only work for some people. Right, so when evaluating the sickness, right, there'll be some people who get a lot of motion sickness, right, and almost no matter what you do, they're going to be a problem, right, and so like working out an average or saying, oh, this is better on average for people, it's kind of
No, it does. Yeah, so there was another study on a high school in Greece where they just did it on a normal high school class, where which had boys and girls, and I did a game and just a regular class basically. For the game, on average, the interest went up, but that's just because the boys' average went skyrocketed when it came to interest.
Yep.
The girls were still pretty much the same.
Right.
I didn't really care about the difference. It's still just learning.
Yeah. Yeah. So digging into data, knowing that some of what you're doing is going to appeal to some people, right? So when we talk about ethics, and we talk about who is this technology for and who does it benefit, understanding that there are those variations is important. Okay, so you're making progress on that and writing, right? Jan.
I think the camera is off. Yeah. Just filling the window. As I think you wasn't there. I rewrote all of the connection code because the changed sandbox and the underlying sandbox
was so different.
I changed the Unity backend from mesh rendering to using a landscape. So and I was getting strange errors anyway. So I thought, screw that. I'm going to use the protocol, but I'm just writing everything myself.
Okay.
So I know what happens.
I'm
just done with that. Now I'm trying to integrate that into the sandbox. So I only had his test server up till now.
Yeah.
But I'm like this morning, like the 10 minutes I was sitting here, I have written the first, pretty much all of it, or 2 lines of code because it's so easy.
Yep. Good. With a new refactored environment, it's.
So I'm going to test that soon.
Yep.
Like in an hour.
Yep.
And then
we also are going to be moving the sandbox up into the atrium for tomorrow. So tomorrow we have 500 Virtual students turning up, and they want to play with sandbox. So I've built a new. I'm going to go home and cut up and finish building the stand for the camera and the projector, and I worked out how to make the projector much brighter and also how to change its offset. So hopefully you can put the projector and the Kinect closer together. If you think that's a reasonable thing to do. The calibration should still be the same calibration.
Well, we need to do a new calibration.
We need to do a new calibration, so yeah, but it will. But hopefully, with attaching those to its own structure and either having that stand on its own or.
Well, the thing is, with this projector, this is the sandbox. The projector should be here, and this Kinect should be here.
So that's how you see.
Kinect just does this, and the shorts for a projector goes like this.
Well, you see that one you can keystone it so that it doesn't. So
I think then you get even more transformation errors.
Okay.
Well, I guess we have to try it out.
We can try it out. We can initially attach it where it is to the new frame because I've made that so that can be connected there. So yeah, we'll set that up this afternoon. And then this evening I have to bring it up. Well, this afternoon
if I want to do testing on there, I should do it like now.
Yeah, we should do it now, and then we should or move up into the atrium and test with a bunch of people around. But yeah, so and if you can be around tomorrow, if you want to do some tomorrow, we're going to have students looking at it.
Tomorrow I have many lectures.
Okay, so yeah, so
show up in between, but
yeah, if just I've got some third years who will show up in between and just make sure it's still running. And it would be nice to have some people being able to talk to students about AR, VR in general. So if any of you guys are around, can give me half an hour.
Probably busy.
Depends. I still need to go down and talk.
You've got that tomorrow. Yep. So, but yeah, so we'll set up some of that. So, but yeah, so no, you've got the open frameworks provide a much better environment.
Seems to be really good. Also, I can just compile it on Windows and on Linux and program on my Windows machine, and because my visual machine is doing strange things. Well, thanks to open frameworks, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a question for you. What should I focus on next? Like, I think I should do first, like after I've done the transmission code, that the updates, like I have imported just a demo car, so I could drive around.
Yep.
And if an update happens at the wrong time, I just fall through the world because now the ground is here, my car's here, and the ground is here. And that's so I'm going to make a non-update zone around the car, and that's I think essential.
So there's a couple of ways you do that. One is
but that's not my question. My question is, what should I do after that? I could I could improve the game, like get the VR component to work, or should I focus on the drawing on the sand and projecting it back? What do you think is more important?
What about writing the report?
That has to happen anyway. But
done pretty much nothing. Like, I have only gotten stuff to work, but I should have gotten to work months ago. So.
But you have got stuff to work. So and you have an understanding of what's going on. So in terms of what I would first do is get the VR working. Right, so that when I put the headset on, I see the terrain around me. Right, so I'd like so get the VR camera into Unity. Right, so basically drop the VR camera in. It should not be hard.
Right? It's just throw. I think it's just throw in the VR toolkit and then.
Yeah, that's plenty of tutorials.
So you should just be able to throw in the VR toolkit, and that way you have the VR.
Will I be able to do that? Well, right now the scene is quite simple.
So look at that. The other machines that are down there that have got Vive connected to them. Throw in the VR toolkit and the Unity project onto those, and then build the Unity project and network that way. So that would be the next thing I'd do, and then I wouldn't improve the car game specifically. I would look at projecting back onto the sand, right? So the next thing is, and you've got those two options: either create the open frameworks rendering so that it can take stuff from the game and display a sprite at a location, right? And even if at this stage what you do is you just have a car sprite that you already loaded into the game saying, well, this is the car sprite server, you just get an XY position for that sprite and you put it in that location. It means that it will drive around the track while I'm driving around the track, right? And that then gets that prototype concept done. Yep. So that's what I would focus on. So that would be the order in which I'd focus on those. Yep.
So I think my aim will be like getting the R and the simple back projection going.
Yep.
And then focusing on the report.
And the report. Yep. Yep. Writing up around this area of mixed reality, which is a big deal at the moment. Everybody's throwing lots of money at it, so there's lots of things to discuss at least. Okay.
So as you know, I'm building a prototype of an application that has as a goal to help the storyteller in the game Werewolves. So far what I've done is building the first part of the application. So I would call it the preparation of the game. So right now we can like the user can create the game and select enter the players, enter the roles, and affect the roles to like distribute the roles. I've also implemented the function where you have two solutions to distribute the roles. Either you can like do it yourself, or you can like just randomly distribute them. And now the thing I have to do, like I have two main things. First, still in the preparation part, it's figure out the different pre-built compositions for the game. It's kind of it's not that it's difficult, but it depends on a lot of parameters, like mostly the number of players, of course, but also like a lot of other parameters. So I'll try to keep it as simple as possible, because otherwise it would be like really too complicated for the time I have.
Yep.
And the second part, of course, is the main algorithm, the main part of the game, which is like the actual thing I will try to evaluate in my report, like how well can that app help the storyteller keep up with the game, and like avoid some kind of common mistakes we do when we usually fulfill that role as a storyteller.
Do you use the stream or use
Yes.
the Hangout?
I'm using the stream at the moment.
Okay.
When do you guys start?
No.
Right, now.
That's okay.
Okay.
I will just record and post it after.
Okay. Overlapping. Sharing a single GTL stream. Yep.
So yeah, that's it. And I think I have pretty much the same problem as everyone is about the report. I'm not really used to that kind of report, so like I already discussed it with Marius before, the course with mobile. So like yeah, I have a pretty much clearer idea now of what I need to do for the report, but I still feel like I'm running a little bit late because I have the report, but I'm still not done with the prototype. And
so parts of the report you can do kind of independently, right, of having finished the thing, right? So some of the ethical discussions that I talked about a couple of weeks ago, those you can start looking at regardless of whether you've got something working or not. You can discuss the ethical implications of the technology. You can also start writing stuff about how long you think the technology would last. What are the other technologies you're competing with? Will you coexist with other technologies, or will this overtake other technologies, right? So for example, the ray tracing will coexist with a rasterizing pipeline for probably quite a long time, right? Because the rasterizing pipeline is very, very good, but potentially in 20 years time maybe we don't rasterize things anymore because we've got so much physical model to physical data, and virtual content which has properties rather than just being a shell, that we actually move away from having to do triangles and rasterization and move into full object and physics. So those kind of things, and autonomous cars. The current discussion in New Zealand is on the trolley buses, which have the overhead electric cables. So trolley buses with the overhead electric cables, and because they're just taking them down in Wellington, right? Because they would have to do a major upgrade to keep them running, and they're kind of doing battery operated, like the battery electric vehicles are becoming more common than trying to buy trolley buses, right? Because when you start having a very rare item, it becomes very expensive, and so buying a standardized thing, which is an electric bus with a standard big Tesla battery in it, that you do your round, you drop out your battery, put in a new battery, doing the next round, because you've got your bus charging station is where you can just flip the battery over, so you don't need to send power along all over the country and have power lines running above every road and maintaining all of that infrastructure, because we've got good batteries now.
So they're taking like trams and just adding batteries to them?
So, well, they're getting rid of the trams and they're replacing the trams, because the trams have hit their lifetime. And the answer is, do we spend a lot of money buying new trams and keep the old technology? And
so they're just taking everything down.
So they're going to take everything down, replace them with normal buses.
With battery.
Yeah, and then actually, unfortunately, what they're currently doing is they're going to replace them with diesel buses, because they still can't afford the electric buses. So it's kind of
because they spent all the money on flags.
On a flag referendum, but yeah. So no, they're gonna take them down. But that's an example of a technology. So the original electrical technology infrastructure is expensive, and items on it are expensive. So when you look at any particular technology, so you're working on a mobile phone, you could talk about how long this kind of screen is going to stay. And one of the challenges, one of the competitions for phones is Windows the HoloLens, and the idea that you will also have a computer that you put on your head. And then will it be on the phone, or will it be augmented? And if it's augmented, would anybody use your flat interface once they're supposed to be augmenting it? Or does that interface become something you put on the tabletop and therefore augment the world with? So there is some interesting kind of technological challenges of how long does a solution on a phone last, right? And so sometimes it's hard to predict.
It's more about a general discussion about the technologies and stuff, rather than the proper prototype. Right?
Yeah. So that discussion on the ethics and the lifetime of the technology can be more generic, right? You don't need to talk about necessarily exactly your solution. You can talk about the technology itself of the solution. You should have a section in there which is describing what you made or what you researched. Yeah. So if you're making something, you should describe that. So you're going to have. So Bjorn's going to have a large
template, or are we using standard IMRAD? Or is it?
So I do not mind if you use IMRAD or you use your own structure. Using IMRAD is fine, right? But in the discussion you will discuss ethics, right? So that would be a subsection within the discussion, right? And in the introduction you'll talk about the technologies and the other areas and the other technologies that are possible to use.
It's probably a bit difficult to use IMRAD in a lit study.
But for a lit study, you don't. You discuss things and and you use analysis and you use research. Use a systematic research kind of more framework. Yeah. So I'm happy with you to adjust that. In terms of summarizing and presenting, then using slides and just having some words, you can, if you want, talk me through your report. I've seen students do this. It's a somewhat odd way of doing it, but it's not that hard to make a PowerPoint with just the big title headers on each slide and then discuss those, right? That's the better way than just putting up your full dense text and presenting that. If you're using LaTeX and you're really going to commit to LaTeX, there is the Beamer prototype on the NTNU, on my COP CSE NTNU. So on GitHub, there is the Beamer template for an NTNU presentation.
Proper to NTNU. Oh, okay.
Right, so there's a Beamer template for NTNU presentations that you can use that make it look like a proper NTNU presentation. And that's got examples of how to do things in Beamer format. And so you can, if you really want to stay in LaTeX, you can do that. Otherwise, you can use PowerPoint, whatever. And as you say, if you've got a template, if you've got a prototype, you can plug that in and display the phone on your computer, and then stream that.
For the final presentation or for the video thing?
For the video thing, right? Because so instead of having a final presentation, we're going to do the video thing, right? So you don't have to do the final presentation. The final presentation is the video.
And
you have an oral exam.
And then you have an oral exam. Yeah. So we on the 23rd we have an oral exam with you, where we will discuss the report and your video presentation.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So the final presentation is now going to be a video presentation that you do.
Okay.
Right?
I got it.
And then you guys can watch that. You watch each other's across that week preparing for the exam.
So between the 16th and
the 16th and 23rd. Yeah, you've got a week then to see the other people's presentations. Because one of the challenges is if we do get you to present all on the same day, because you're so focused on your own presentation,
you don't really care.
You generally don't care about anything else anyone is saying, right? It's all about that. And once you've done yours, it's all like, so you don't. Yeah, it's like going to the dentist, right? You're not going to learn much on the like before or after because they're going to the dentist. But yeah, so if we, so that's why we thought. We also felt that by doing a presentation, you guys can focus on that up until the 16th. You'll focus on your own, and then you've got that collection there on the 16th to be able to watch at your own time, right? So we thought that might actually be more useful learning content for each other, and it's also something we can upload them onto Blackboard. Is one area we can upload. You can upload the videos onto Blackboard.
Okay. You don't have to show it publicly.
So we don't have to show it publicly.
Okay.
Right. So if you don't want to show it publicly, or you feel that this is that we're not publishing things, and
probably YouTube and then just say only with those who share it.
Yeah, or you can put it up on YouTube.
You can even put it on Google Drive.
Yes.
And have basically the YouTube player.
Yeah.
So
because if you put it up on your Google Drive, so
just share it with.
And you just share by link, and or share with named sources if you just want to share it with Mariusz and I. But we would like to invite everyone else, so we'd probably get a shared link so other students in the class can view it. Right? And then everybody can see what everyone else has been able to achieve, and then also it gives you that broader understanding of what other things were done, without you guys having to read everybody else's reports, which would add a lot more workload without necessarily adding a lot of value. But I think there is value in understanding the broader field, right? And so that's why we're going to ask you questions about it. Okay. Now, in terms of using OBS, I don't think we're necessarily going to have a session on teaching you how to use it. It's downloadable on all platforms. It's pretty simple to understand. Do some test recordings with it, and rather than streaming, just do start recording and stop recording.
You can use pause and play, so you can do sections at a time or something.
Yes, if you do stop recording and start recording, then it will create new YouTube videos, right? And then yes, you can merge videos with various video merging tools. If you really are going the YouTube thing, you can just put them up on YouTube, and then tell YouTube to merge them.
Yeah. You have to do that all in one take.
No, you don't have to do it. If you're not going to do it all in one take, then just use the start and stop recording. Record multiple sessions of them. Name them in order if at the very minimum, and then we can use various tools to we can look at the tools that merge video streams into a sequence.
You could use OBS for it. You could use OBS for it, like watch the first video, second.
Yes, so you could
just waste your time.
You could just play them through that way. Mariusz does a bunch of video editing on his Mac, but there are also very simple video editing tools.
I'm just gonna something.
Yeah, Windows also has one built in, so Windows Media Maker.
With it,
yeah.
So you can use that as well.
It's really easy to use.
Yeah, and because you're just merging them, you don't have to do clean transitions and spend time making it pretty. Just whack them together, then it's fine, right? Usually it's also easy to just trim the front and trim the back if you wanted to, right? Because if you're worried about it kind of not matching well.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm also, interestingly, for game technologies, if a lot of content is moving on to streaming of games and streaming like Twitch channels and YouTube gaming channels, so that's becoming a significant part of gaming technology, is actually how you stream, and it becomes a public activity. So also learning how to stream the game you're playing and doing, or the tech you're creating, is also a useful thing just in general to be able to do and have say you've done. Okay, so other questions from you guys? I'll just see if there's anyone actually on the chat. No one's on the live chat, but there are 2 people watching. Or is one of that you?
Nah, not me.
No, okay, so there are actually 2 people out there. 2 bots, most likely.
I just have a question concerning like the video and the prototype, because the thing is, well, if I could, I would have done I would have launched the application on an emulated device on my computer. That way, I would have it on my screen.
Right.
But the thing is, I can't because, well, that's not how it went on.
I think I have a Samsung connector for the computer that can display it
the screen on the
computer. Yeah, I think I have one.
So we also, so there is a program that gives you half an hour of showing the copy. So we were just using this. It's a plugin for Chrome. So if you just use Chrome, and we were just looking at this. It's Visor.
And you can share, like, you connect your device and you can share the screen?
Yes, so you connect your device with USB, and then, so it's called Visor.
Visor, okay.
Visor, with a VYSOR. And it's a Chrome plugin.
Okay.
And what it does is, in your Chrome window, it shows you have to have your OBD, so your debugging installed, right? And you have to tell this that it's going to be USB debugging.
Okay.
Right, so you tell your phone that it's in developer mode.
This is the, okay.
Have you got your phone in developer mode?
Yeah.
And you turn on USB debugging, and then it will show you the screen in the window.
Okay, I'll try this then.
Yep. So that,
and you have a fallback. I do have a Samsung thing. So
yeah.
Okay. And it's special for sharing
specific for Samsung as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So currently I have it running. So if we take this phone and plug it in,
Exactly.
Oh, there it goes. J5. It's just done, and go OK. So I'll go OK.
Nice. Okay.
And then go view. The Android connection is offline. Please reboot. OK. View the Android USB connection. Okay, I viewed my one. So your Android USB connection is offline. Try and turn your USB connection. USB debugging.
Yeah, it's.
There it goes. Serial offline. Okay. Settings. So I've had it work before. Maybe if we unplug and plug back in, and it asks again for there we go.
Nice.
So we just needed to unplug it and plug it back in. So there's a connection here started. So Visor installing APK. So it's installing the Visor APK on there, it would seem. Connecting. Do you have wireless?
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
There we go.
Ah, nice. Okay.
Right? And then in OBS, right?
Okay.
So in OBS, you could also go into OBS, and I'm not streaming this to everyone. So you go to like, if I go, I'll add a scene and call it okay, and then I can go add
a window, and then I
window capture and add exist, create new, okay, and.
Normally I could choose visor.
I think it's that one.
Okay. Maybe.
And go okay. Right. I was having this problem with Chrome and OBS that it didn't like
each other.
Yeah, they didn't like each other. So
region capture.
I think the problem is that Chrome just replaces the header and using not a standard window. I guess because for Opera it's the same.
Right, so
you can turn that off, but you have to look somewhere in the options of Chrome.
I'm just seeing if any. So in Black, it works. It finds Mozilla windows, and my Discord window it doesn't find, but it finds the OneDrive window. So some of the windows work, some of the windows don't. So what I do is, in that case,
you can just do a region capture instead of a window capture.
Yeah. So.
Probably capture region.
Audio, color, display capture.
I think.
Yeah. What does game capture do?
Game capture is like particular.
Specific window.
Like it recognizes like programs that are like
game-like
games,
specific. With Discord, for example.
Yeah. So it would do Discord. Would think that it's a game-specific window. Yes. Any full-screen application. Capture foreground window with hotkey. Okay, so I could, so it'd be, right, so anything, cancel that. So I can delete that one and sure, okay. So at the moment the stream is black because I'm,
true.
So the guys aren't seeing what I'm doing, but if I add a display capture and then go, okay, you get the full display capture. I can have that display capture there, and then in its properties of display capture, I'm capturing full capture cursor. You can turn capture cursor on or off, but if I can shrink the general display. But what you could do is you can have
the slides
here and that there, and so long as you're seeing it, then that's okay, and you can interact.
And I can just
and I can see
this.
Yep. So
it works. Okay.
Yeah. So it can. So that's at least one way of doing it. That will get you. Get it on screen. Yep. So Visor will do that for you.
Okay.
And we can try and work out why OBS doesn't like Chrome. Cancel. So if we go back to scene 2, and you can unplug.
Well, otherwise there is also XSplit Broadcaster. I don't know if you know it. This is software that is like basically like OBS, and some streamers use it instead of OBS. They use XSplit. So maybe if it works with Chrome, then
and also the standard dev kit should be able to do screen mirroring, right? So if you got Android Studio, I believe when you go to debug mode, you can pop up the screen on your screen, right? So when you plug in the debug,
but Android Studio doesn't on computer. It's like
but at least you should be able to get Chrome window up.
Visor, so I'm trying to figure out something.
Okay. Any other questions?
Not at the moment.
No? Okay, right. So now, as Marius has said to you, we're away next week and the week after. So we're away for 2 weeks.
Okay.
So you're going to have to do this remotely with us, right? Which is also partly why creating the video is going to be useful. But do email us, do get us on Discord, and do get us on chat, and we'll be available on the 8th and 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th through the 14th, I think 15th, and then we won't be available for a couple of days, and then we'll be back here, right? So there's that middle week we're available. We're working, but we're just working remotely. Okay, so we won't have children, and so we'll be working hard. So, yep.
Yeah, by the way, on Thursday, are they still coming from Denmark?
So, the Thursday, they're coming up to Hammer. Now, that was the other thing I wanted to mention to you guys, is on Thursday morning, I'm going over to Hammer to present at the VR Forum. Now, they've said that they've got, we can bring in some students on free tickets, because they want people to attend. And because we're presenting, they're happy to let some of our students come in. So some of the third year students are interested in going, but if you're interested in VR, then the VR Forum is the event. So VR, if you look, VR Forum, Nordic VR Forum has a program. It is on Thursday. Normally it's 450 krona, or 50 euro, but we'll get you guys in. I'll be travelling over in the morning because I'll be setting up, so I'll have some space in my car. And if you have a look at the 2 tracks, so if they've got a program, come on, show us the program. Here we go. So I'm presenting in the afternoon, immediately after lunch, in the VR knowledge transfer track. But there is other people from around Norway and some internationals coming in to talk about VR. So if you're interested in VR and discussing VR, then this conference is over in Hammer. So if you want to come with me in the car, I've got room for 3 additional people in my car, or you grab the bus. It's registration, and the opening is at 9:30, so you'd have to grab the 8:20 bus if you were going to get there and miss the welcoming and turn up for the first trend experts talking about the future of AR and VR. Or you could arrive at 10:15 for the virtual reality for everyone from the project lead video/VR enthusiast Google Norway. So Google Norway are presenting, so they're at 10:15. So you could turn up then if you were going to go on the bus, or I'll be leaving here at about probably it's sort of 7:45. So yeah, to get there about.
It takes half an hour. So.
Yeah, it
45
takes
minutes.
45 minutes. So
I'm too used to go to more.
Yeah, so I go 7:45. It'll take me 45 minutes. So I'll be there about 8:30ish.
So what are you presenting on that day?
I'm just doing a. My original title was VR communication and health. I will be setting up the VR, the collaborative stuff that Niklaus did, and at least. And I'll be discussing the Games for Health conference and some of the VR stuff we discussed there, and the VR doctors stuff, and having the spectator, my other laptop being the spectator camera connected to the overhead projector, and me in the Vive giving the lecture. So okay. I'll do it that way. So I'll try and give the lecture out of VR. So I'll be in VR for 30 minutes. Grabbing my slides and moving them around and then showing stuff. Ideally, I'd have someone here who was who could be a student who would jump in, right? So either here or we could run it up on someone else's Vive over there. But if I had another collaborator in, it'd be nice to kind of point out to them. So did one of you guys do that when I was in Eindhoven, or was that one of the third years? I think it might have been one of the third years.
Kind of depends.
Yeah.
I've been doing it sometimes.
Yeah, so you've occasionally popped in. Whether it was me doing it or not. But yeah, so I'd like to have someone for that on Thursday. So either if you want to come over, then you come over and see all the talks, or if you don't, it would be nice if someone could just fire it up during that 1:15 to 1:45 period and join me. Probably actually at 1 o'clock, because it'll be I will leave lunch early and go and start setting up. So from about 1 o'clock. So do you want to come? Do you want to go to the thing, or?
No, I'm probably going to be here because to do.
I would probably like to work as well, so I'll probably also be.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Right. Yeah. No, I do understand. Right. I mean, it's the
wrong part of the year.
It is the wrong part of the year for holding this sort of thing. And there are. I mean, we'll be meeting people there, and I'll talk about you guys, and I'll talk about them, and say, look, you, if you want to see some of the amazing stuff our students are doing, you need to come and visit them.
Yeah.
And during the masters.
Because they can't be bothered to come visit you.
Well, it's starting to be the pressure part of the year. So a whole day is a whole day.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm feeling comfortable asking you guys about half an hour. But 8 hours is quite different to half an hour.
Yeah, exactly. So looking at this list here, it's quite long.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Even today is pretty bad because we have I have like 5 or 6 hours. I can't
be working. Yeah. No. Okay. Cool. Right. Right. Well. All right. I've got my lecture at 1, so I'm going to go and get the wood and start building your new framework. Actual frame work.
At the Hack.0 they also had a sandbox.
Yep.
And actually they used like some light gravel. It was like really lighter, but it was dusty. The same amount of dust. And
yeah.
it was just different texture.